Finding an ancient artifact is just the start of the journey for archaeologists. After a discovery is made, the real task is making sense of it, and that's not always straightforward. Many of the things left behind by ancient people create more confusion than clarity. But honestly, that's what makes it all the more intriguing. We've always been drawn to a good mystery, and in this video we're sharing the stories behind these ancient objects that continue to leave experts guessing. Let's start off with number 15. The Earth Monster Sits return to Mexico. After decades abroad, this massive sculpture known as the Earth Monster has finally made its way back to Mexico. Carved over 2,000 years ago by artists from the Olmec civilization, the artifact weighs around 2,200 pounds and likely originated from the Chalcatzingo site in Morelos. The sculpture depicts a mountain with a cross-shaped cave entrance that also forms the mouth of a jaguar. In ancient Mesoamerican beliefs, such cave imagery often symbolized a portal to the underworld, and the jaguar was seen as a guardian of spiritual realms. The Olmecs were known for their advanced artistry and spiritual symbolism, and this piece is thought to reflect both. While its exact purpose isn't fully known, it may have played a role in ritual ceremonies or religious storytelling. Its return isn't just a homecoming, it's a chance for scholars in Mexico to study the artifact more closely and deepen their understanding of the cultural practices behind it. Number 14. Cursed Jar of Ancient Athens. This ordinary-looking jar uncovered in Athens, Greece, turned out to be anything but. Dated to around 2,300 years ago, it held more than just clay and dust. Inside were dismembered chicken bones, buried with intent, and its surface was etched with a series of curse inscriptions aimed at over 50 individuals. This wasn't a casual curse either. After the words were written, an iron nail was driven through the vessel, an act meant to seal the spell. In Athens, curse tablets made of lead aren't rare, but jars like this are far less common. Scholars believe the person who created it may have been involved in a legal dispute, perhaps a court defendant trying to sabotage the other side. These types of legal conflicts were a regular part of public life in ancient Athens, and some went to extreme lengths to win. The jar reflects not just superstition, but a deeply embedded belief in magic as a tool of influence, especially when fate hung in the balance. Number 13. Roman diatretic glass vase from Aucton. In 2020, at a necropolis near Aucton, France, archaeologists unearthed the shattered remains of a Roman diatretic glass vase, a rare luxury item created with incredible precision during the 4th century. The vase had been broken into hundreds of fragments, but conservationists spent a year painstakingly reconstructing it. What emerged wasn't just a complete vessel, but one of the finest examples of Roman glass craftsmanship ever found in Gaul. Only 10 such vases have been discovered globally, and this is the only one recovered in present-day France. The delicate webbed structure of the reticulated glass, decorative yet functional, speaks to a level of skill that still surprises modern glassmakers. The vase had been placed at the feet of a person buried during the 4th century, though their identity remains unknown. A Latin inscription etched into the glass reads, "Vivus feliciter," live in happiness. As ornate as it is fragile, this vase holds more than beauty. It speaks to Roman ideas of legacy, memory, and the artistry meant to outlive its owner. Number 12. The Metal Faces of Poniaty. Excavations in the Polish village of Poniaty revealed more than 200 medieval metal objects, but 2 faces among them stood out. One was crafted in lead, its features soft, with closed eyes and a calm, near-smiling expression. The other, shaped from copper alloy, showed wide eyes and a startled look, earning comparisons to the shocked expression from the Home Alone film poster. Both pieces likely had a function beyond ornament. Some believe the lead face was a seal, while the copper one, pierced at the ears, might have been part of a belt buckle. Despite similarities to decorations found near Eurasian borderlands, nothing identical has surfaced in Poland before. These items came to light during construction work in 2019, revealing remnants of a medieval settlement underneath. While their exact purpose remains uncertain, they show just how expressive even the smallest artifacts can be. In a village where religious tools, spurs, and jewelry were common finds, these two faces carried something else: personality, perhaps even intention. What do you think about them? Well, drop your comment below. Number 11. Scythian horse harness in Torun. While digging near Torun, archaeologists came across a leather bag containing over 150 pieces of a disassembled horse harness buried during the Iron Age around 2,500 years ago. The components, crafted in bronze and wrapped in dried leaves, were astonishingly well preserved despite the passage of centuries. The harness pieces were intricately designed, suggesting they belonged to someone of status or importance. Historians are puzzled by the act of burying the harness in parts. If it had been meant for reuse, why dismantle it so carefully? And if it was being discarded, why bother preserving it at all? The style matches the equipment used by Scythian nomads, who typically buried objects as part of funerary rites. However, no burial chamber or human remains were found nearby. One theory proposes that the bronze might have held value for future reuse, but even that doesn't fully explain the ritual-like care taken in its placement. It's a detail-heavy mystery, the kind that quietly resists explanation and logic. Number 10. Cooper the Titan from Down Under. In the outback of Queensland, something huge has been identified after years of careful study. A new species of dinosaur named Australodotan cooperensis, or simply Cooper. This plant-eating giant lived between 92 to 96 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, and measured roughly the length of a basketball court. Standing about 21 feet high at the hip, Cooper is now considered the largest dinosaur ever discovered in Australia and one of the largest globally. The fossil was first spotted by cattle farmers more than a decade ago, but confirmation took years of excavation and comparison with other titanosaur fossils. The work, housed at the Eromanga Natural History Museum, required nearly 2 decades of meticulous research. Experts believe this discovery hints at the presence of even larger predators in the region, as sauropods like Cooper were often prey to apex theropods. For paleontologists, Cooper isn't just a fossil, he's a doorway to a prehistoric Australia still holding plenty of secrets beneath the soil. Number 9. Hidden markings on the Stone of Destiny. Just before it played a central role in the coronation of King Charles III, the Stone of Destiny revealed something new. Roman numerals, faintly carved into its weathered surface, were spotted during a detailed scientific study led by Historic Environment Scotland. This stone, also known as the Stone of Scone, has been part of Scottish royal ceremonies for over 1,000 years. Weighing around 335 pounds, it traveled under close supervision from Edinburgh Castle to Westminster Abbey, where it was placed beneath the coronation chair. The analysis, which included digital imaging and 3D scans, showed not only the numerals but also tool marks dating to different eras, some from the original quarry in Scone, others more recent. The meaning of the Roman numbers remains uncertain, but their find adds a new layer to the story. More than just a symbol of monarchy, the stone now also speaks to centuries of craftsmanship and quiet human hands leaving their trace, sometimes unintentionally, but never without significance. Number 8. Discon bow brooches and inherited identity. Between the 6th and 8th centuries, women across Scandinavia wore brooches known as discon bow, beautifully made ornaments that were anything but ordinary accessories. These pieces were gilded with care and adorned with deep red garnets, some of which had traveled from as far as India and Sri Lanka. Found exclusively in women's graves, many of these brooches show signs of extended use, worn long enough to be handed down, likely from mom to daughter. Some of the surviving designs even depict women wearing similar brooches, creating what feels like a generational echo crafted in metal. While no one has deciphered their exact meaning, scholars believe the patterns etched into them may hold coded information, possibly tied to family history or social standing. The craftsmanship and wear suggest they meant more than decoration. These weren't just objects of vanity, They marked identity, connection, and memory. In a culture where storytelling passed through generations, these brooches may have been visual records of lineage in a time before written words preserved such things. Number 7. Early Cyrillic text on a Bulgarian breastplate. A lead plate found near the Bulgaria-Greece border at the Balak Dere fortress may hold one of the oldest surviving examples of Cyrillic writing. The plate, which is over 1,100 years old, was worn as a protective breastplate, not for combat but to ward off evil forces. After a careful conservation process, researchers found a prayer inscribed on its surface, asking for protection over two individuals named Pavel and Dimitar. Dimitar may have served in the fortress garrison and was possibly related to Pavel. The lettering dates to the time of Tsar Simeon I, also known as Simeon the Great, who ruled in the early 10th century. Its writing style matches texts from northeastern Bulgaria, near Simeon's former capital Preslav. This find potentially predates the oldest known Cyrillic inscriptions and gives scholars new material to examine how the script spread. As a cultural artifact, it shows how spiritual beliefs and early language development were deeply intertwined. Number 6. A monumental tomb in Amphipolis. In the hills of Amphipolis, Greece, archaeologists uncovered a burial site that has drawn global attention, guarded by two marble sphinxes and enclosed within a 1,640-foot-long marble wall. This tomb dates back to between 325 and 300 BCE. It's the largest ancient tomb ever found in Greece. The entrance, marked by fresco-covered walls and watched over by the sphinxes, leads toward an interior believed to hold someone of great significance. A 5-meter-tall lion statue, discovered in 1912 nearby, is thought to have once stood atop the tomb itself. While some speculate it could belong to Alexander the Great, who died in 323 BCE, no conclusive evidence confirms that theory. Given Amphipolis's strategic and historical importance, it may well have been the final resting place of a Macedonian royal. Excavations began in 2012, and anticipation continues to grow. The site not only showcases Greek architectural precision, but also leaves behind unanswered questions about the identity of the individual buried within its grand walls. Number 5. Ancient drug use in Bronze Age Spain. Hair samples found in the Escaradix cave on Minorca, Spain are offering fresh insight into Bronze Age rituals. Sealed in wooden containers and dyed red, the hair is about 3,000 years old and was found in a chamber used for funerals. Researchers tested the strands and detected chemical traces of atropine, scopolamine, and ephedrine compounds found in plants like henbane and joint pine. These substances produce strong psychoactive effects, and their presence suggests that ancient communities may have used them during spiritual or ceremonial practices. Until now, suggestions of drug use in prehistoric Europe lacked concrete biological evidence. This discovery confirms it with lab-tested accuracy. The use of these plants could have played a role in rituals involving altered states of consciousness, possibly to connect with ancestors or interpret visions. Whether religious or not, it's clear these weren't accidental exposures. The find reshapes part of what we thought we knew about Bronze Age belief systems and how early humans explored consciousness. Alright guys, now, let's talk about Number 4. Hopewell pipes and cultural differences. In June 2021, a detailed examination of ceremonial pipes uncovered at Hopewell sites in Ohio and Illinois revealed something historians had long underestimated: the diversity among ancient Native American communities. While these pipes were often lumped together due to similar styles, closer inspection showed real distinctions. The Ohio pipes, it turns out, weren't made locally. They were carved from Illinois stone and brought in through trade, while Illinois tribes used nearby materials. Even their final use diverged. In Ohio, pipes were intentionally broken and buried together, suggesting communal rites. In contrast, Illinois pipes were buried intact, typically with their individual owners. These contrasting customs reveal distinct beliefs and rituals, even within the same cultural horizon. It challenges the oversimplified idea that all native communities from the same era shared identical practices. Instead, what we see here are individual tribal identities, each shaped by unique customs, resources, and social structures, a reminder that ancient America was far more complex than it's often portrayed. Number 3. Okomtun. Well, this is just mind-blowing. Scanning the jungles of southern Mexico recently located a previously unknown Maya city now called Okomtun. Tucked inside the Balamku Ecological Reserve, this site is believed to have flourished between 250 and 1000 AD. The area is packed with architectural features, large pyramid-style platforms, circular plazas, and stone columns, all laid out in deliberate formations. Some structures rise nearly 50 feet and surround ceremonial spaces, including a ball court likely used for religious events. What makes this find especially notable is the technology used to uncover it. LiDAR, a laser-based mapping method, allowed researchers to see beneath the thick jungle canopy and study a region larger than Luxembourg. According to lead archaeologist Ivan Shipradji, Okomtun probably declined during the 10th century, a time marked by major changes across Maya society. These shifts in belief and population may explain why the city was eventually abandoned. The discovery is another reminder of how much of Maya civilization still lies hidden beneath layers of time and forest. Number 2. Iron Age dentistry in France. A burial chamber in Lacoste, France, offered up one of Western Europe's oldest dental implants, a 2300-year-old iron pin inserted where a front tooth should have been. The remains belong to a Celtic woman from the Iron Age, laid to rest in a richly furnished grave. The iron rod matched the size of her upper incisor and was likely topped with a carved wooden or ivory tooth to maintain appearances. Examination of the skull showed the implant was almost certainly placed after death, as inserting metal into the jaw of a living person at the time would have caused unbearable pain, possibly even death. The site was excavated under the direction of Gwen Signac, revealing not just early dental attempts but signs of cultural value placed on appearance, even in death. Evidence from civilizations like ancient Egypt and the Indus Valley shows other early forms of dental work existed, but this find adds a uniquely European chapter to the long, complex history of human attempts to fix what time or decay tried to erase. Number 1. Skull on the Minnesota River. Last summer, drought along the Minnesota River exposed a human skull near Sacred Heart. 2 kayakers noticed the bone lodged along the shoreline and contacted local authorities. What looked like a potential modern case turned out to be anything but. Carbon dating showed it was about 8,000 years old and belonged to a young Native American man. A dent on the skull hints at a possible cause of death, though no exact details are confirmed. This individual likely lived off local game, fish, plants, and freshwater shellfish. The sheriff's office posted about the find on Facebook, but the tone of the post drew sharp criticism from indigenous communities for failing to show proper cultural respect. Referring to ancestral remains as a cool piece of history was seen as insensitive, and the post was eventually removed. Beyond its archaeological value, the find reignited a conversation about how ancient remains are handled, remembered, and, most importantly, respected. What do you think about these finds? Well, let us know. And as we always say, if you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.